Hey everyone, Dr. Ronnie Gaines here, creator of Master Level Marriage. I just want to take this time to wish you a happy new year. Wow, we have stepped over into a new decade. Man, this is going to be an amazing year. I really believe that this is going to be a great year for so many people. I've heard others talk about it. I've heard others talk about they can't wait to get into 2020 to really do some things, to really launch some things in their life, to do some things different, make some changes. And I know that this is going to be a great year for a lot of people. And I'm hoping that this is going to be a great year for you. I want to thank you, first of all, for being a part of this community and being a part of Master Level Marriage. I know that the last few weeks we've been setting up this studio, getting ready for this year and launching some new videos, new content, and really looking forward to really adding value to a lot of people. Now, I'm going to ask you a question, and I kind of think about this as I ask this question. What are your plans for this decade? Have you made New Year's resolutions? Well, most have, and I'm going to tell you that most resolutions that are made they're done by mid-January, or sometimes they may last until the end of January. And I want to challenge you with something. I want to challenge you with this. What about this year not making any resolutions? You say, well, that's really a bold statement. A lot of people want to make resolutions and have change in their life, and I want you to think differently. I want you to think about this. A resolution is kind of like a firm decision. It could be an intention, and I've watched many, and you have as well, that have made these resolutions and they fail. Their intentions are great, but there's no follow through. I want you to change the way you think for just a moment. Think about this. Think about commitment. You know, commitment is stronger. Commitment is about a cause. A commitment is so much more than a resolution, and I want you to really think about that, and maybe in the next few weeks start developing this idea about commitment and committing to some things in your life. Now, I've created 3 things today that I want to add value to you and to maybe kind of help you kind of shift over into this idea of commitment. And before you commit to something, you have to develop a plan, create a plan. And the first thing in creating this plan, I believe, is to make a mental commitment. When we're creating a plan, we got to have a cause. Think about this for a moment. Maybe you're wanting to develop a new relationship this year, or lose some weight, get healthier. We have to create a plan, but first we have to make a mental commitment. We have to be mentally ready to move into our commitment, or to start working on our commitment. A mental commitment is more than just an intention. I tried an experiment here a few weeks ago, and I wanted to see if it was really true that our attention will determine our direction, and our direction will determine the outcome. I wanted to see if this was really true. I've heard that what we give attention to will determine our direction, and then our direction will determine the outcome. So I was driving down the turnpike, and I decided this would be a great time. There wasn't any cars around me, and so I just moved my attention from the highway in front of me out into the field. And the next thing I knew, in just a few moments, I was hitting those little bumps that's right on the side of the road, what I call the wake up everybody in the car bumps. And I realized at that moment that as I focused and put my attention out in the field, that's where my direction went. And if I would have kept my attention on that field, I would have ended up in that field. That would have been my destination or my outcome. And I believe it's the same way in our lives. When we make a mental commitment, it gives us an attention to our cause. And when we put our attention on the cause and get a mental commitment to our cause, whatever it may be, your relationship, your diet, your health. When we give a mental commitment, it's setting our attention on our outcome. The second thing that I want you to see is this, that once we create this mental commitment, then we need to write it down. We need to write down our commitment, write down our cause. See, we write it down because it gives us the ability to run with it, to look back on it and to study it and to give us accountability, to give us direction, to give us clarity. And this year I have already set up my 2020 planner. And I know this is not a new thing. A planner is not a new thing. And we have our phones. You can put your dates in your phone. I feel like that sometimes I miss things if I just keep it in my phone. I still use my calendar on my phone. But in the planner, I have the ability to write down ahead of time what my plans are. If I'm wanting to create content, then I give myself the clarity, the direction. I get that. I put it in my mind mentally, and I commit to it. But then I write it down to make sure that I can follow everything I need to follow to accomplish my goal or to accomplish my cause. The third thing is, once we make the mental commitment and we write it down so we can run with it. We make it plain. We write it down very plain. The third thing is that we create a timeline. By creating a timeline, we have the ability to follow through step by step and accomplish our cause, accomplish our goals. If we don't set timelines, then what we find ourselves out when the deadlines due or when we want to have accomplished this, we find out that we're behind or we did not accomplish what we needed to. Setting those timelines gives us an opportunity to see where we are before we get to the outcome. So here's the thing I know. If we want to make a commitment this year, in which I believe you need to make a commitment instead of a resolution. Forget the resolutions, they don't last. Make a commitment. Make a commitment. Give yourself, dedicate yourself to a cause. Dedicate yourself to something that you want to accomplish in 2020. And really, you can accomplish something every month, but just think about accomplishing one big thing this year. Make that mental, make that plan and give yourself a mental commitment. Write it down, then create your timeline on how it is going to play out. Now, here's what I know. In the next few weeks is going to be critical to setting up your year to get ready for a great 2020. Hey, again, I'm really looking forward to what's getting ready to happen in this new year, this new decade, especially 2020. And I want to add value to you. And to do that, if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, just below subscribe, and once you click on subscribe, if you would just hit that bell, that way you'll always be notified when our new videos come up. I'm so glad that you were able to be with me today, and here's what I want you to think about. I want you to be your best self. I want you to live out your potential and experience your best marriage, and this is what I call the master level marriage.